What's up everyone, Patrick here, welcome back, and in this video what we got to do is we're given these three sets here, A, B, and C. Notice that all three of them, they're finite sets, and given these sets, their elements, we have to find these sets over here, which notice that these sets are going to be a combination of these three individual sets. So what I'm actually first going to do is I'm going to take this, because we're not working with too many elements and there's a lot of elements that are sort of crossing over in between sets, I'm going to draw a Venn diagram of these three. And then I'll go into finding these sets over here. So what I'm going to do is I'll draw, this will be set A. Let's say this is, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to have to maybe make a bigger diagram for this. So let's say this here is set A, we got set B, and then we got set C, like that. Now personally, when I'm making a Venn diagram, given information like this, I like to start off with the smaller area in the middle and then work my way out. So notice that this area here, it's going to be the elements that are in all the sets. And if you look at all the sets, which element is common? Well, it's the 4. That's common in all three. So notice, for example, like the 6 is common in A and B, but there's no 6 in set C, right? The 4 is what's common in all the sets. So the 4 would go there. So that is taken care of. And then over here, this area would be elements that are in A, this circle, and in B, in set B, besides the 4. So what elements are common in A and B? Well, notice that it's the 4, but we took care of that already. And then notice that the 6 is common. So the 6 would go right there. Right, so now the 6 is taken care of. Now over here, what elements are common in B and in C? Well, B and C would be the 3. Right, the 4 as well, but it's taken care of there. So the 3 would go here. And then in A and C, it would be the 2. So that would go right here. And then notice here in set A, 3 elements, 2, 4, and 6 are taken care of. So the only one that's left is 7. That would go there. So set A is actually fully drawn here. And then we got set B, the one that's remaining is 5, so that would go here. And then we got 1 in set C, which would go right there. Right, so taking this, putting it on a Venn diagram, that's how it would look like. Now let's go through these. So number 1, what's in A and B and C? And that would be this area over here. So that would just be 4. There would just be one element in this set. Over here, we got A or B or C, which would mean it's basically all of this here. So we would just actually list out all the elements, and notice it's just the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the numbers from 1 to 7. So this would be all of the elements, and you don't write any of the elements twice. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then these ones here are a little bit more tricky. So here we got A or B, that's in brackets, and then we have and C. And actually, because the bracket is on the leftmost side, you actually don't need a bracket in this case. Really, you only need brackets whenever you got to do something, because you're always reading from left to right when you're doing these. You only really need a bracket when you're doing something other than reading left to right. So notice here we were going to find out what A or B is first, and then find when it intersects with C. But over here and over here, the brackets are needed because we'd have to do these first and then work with the beginning of that expression. So A or B would be basically everything but the 1. Right? What elements are in A or in B? It's basically all these elements here except for the 1. So A or B would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but then that set how does it, or what elements intersect from that set that I just mentioned and set C? Well, it would be the 2, 4, and 3, right? So this here would be 2, 3, and 4. So I first worked with this set over here. You could even write these out separately. So you could say A or B. You could write out all the elements. So you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you could write out, or we don't even have to write it out, we have it. Set C, what elements intersect with A or B? And set C, well, it would be the 2, 3, and 4. Right? So that ends up being the answer right there. Now, for this one, notice we have to do B and C first. So what would B and C be? Well, we got B and C. That would be the 3 and the 4. Right? That would be the intersection between B and C. 3 and 4 is common in both of these. So then if we do that, or A, right now we have A or this set. 3 and 4 is this set over here, but then we have A, this set, or this set. And so notice the 4 is already there. The only one that's not here in A, it's 3. So it would basically be all the elements in A plus the 3. So if we put in order, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. All right, does that make sense? So I first got this set, which was this, and then I did this set or this set, right? The union between this set and that set right there. And then over here we got A and B or C. So first we do A and B. A and B would be 4 and 6. And then we do this set or set C, the union. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6. Like that. And then finally, the last set to do is this one. We got A and the set of B or C. So if we start with B or C, notice that it's basically going to be B or C. It's going to be basically all the elements but 7. Right? That's what this bracket is. It's going to be all the numbers 1 to 6. Not including the 7, that's not in B or C. So then we got B or C, it's going to be all these elements, but then which of those elements intersects with A and that set? Well, it's going to be basically the 2, 4, and 6. The 2, 4, and 6 are in B or C and also in A. So notice how these are the same except for the bracket. And notice that putting that bracket here instead of here does change the final answer. Same thing over here. Notice if we take out the brackets, these and these are the same, but if we put the bracket here, it ends up being an actual different set. Right? So if possible, if you get a question like this, especially if you work with finite sets, try to maybe make a Venn diagram. You don't necessarily have to. I personally like to. And then just go through these. Perhaps you have to make separate sets first so you could easily see what's going to intersect with what, and then just do your best to be conscious and really careful. If there's no brackets, work from left to right, but if there are brackets, just work with them first.